My girlfriend dumped me because I wouldn't buy her a $200 lipstick. Seriously. So I'm Liam, 30, a teacher, and I'm starting to think my family and my now ex-girlfriend are all crazy. It's always been me, the responsible one, cleaning up everyone's messes. My sister Maya, she can do no wrong. She's the free spirit, so everyone lets her get away with everything. Me, I'm the one who's supposed to have it all together. And this whole lipstick thing, it's just the tip of the iceberg. She's been hinting at wanting expensive gifts for months, and I'm just trying to save for a down payment. I feel like I'm being used, and I don't know what to do. Should I have just bought the damn lipstick? I have a feeling this is going to get way worse before it gets better. It was a Saturday, and Brianna was practically bouncing off the walls at this fancy department store. They had this new limited edition lipstick palette, some ridiculous influencer collab, and she was obsessed. $200, I said, reading the price tag. My stomach dropped. That's like a week's worth of groceries. I'm saving for a condo, for crying out loud. Babe, it's gorgeous, right? She asked, holding it up like it was the Hope Diamond. Yeah, it is, I said, trying to be supportive, but it's also, $200. That's when her face changed. The excitement vanished, replaced by this cold, hard stare. So, she said, her voice dripping with disdain, you can't buy it for me. It felt like a punch to the gut. Not because of the lipstick, but because of the look, like I was some kind of failure for not dropping $200 on a whim. Brianna, I'm saving for a down payment. We talked about this. Oh, right, she said, rolling her eyes. Your precious condo, more important than making me happy, I guess. I tried to explain, to reason with her, but she just kept twisting my words. You're being so cheap, Liam, she hissed, loud enough for other shoppers to stare. You don't want me to have nice things. Nice things, it's a lipstick. And then came the kicker. Other guys would buy it for me, she muttered under her breath, but I heard it. Clear as day. That's when I knew. This wasn't about the lipstick, it was about control. It was about making me feel small, and it was working. I felt the blood drain from my face. My hands started shaking. I just stood there in the middle of the makeup aisle feeling like the biggest idiot in the world. So I went home, absolutely reeling. I called my sister Maya because who else am I supposed to talk to? Big mistake. I told her everything. The lipstick, the fight, the other guy's comment. I was expecting sympathy, maybe a little validation. Instead, I got this. Oh, Liam, she sighed like I was a 5-year-old who'd lost his favorite toy. Just buy her the stupid lipstick, it's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal, it's $200, Maya, and it's not about the money, it's the principle. My voice was rising, I could feel it. Principle. You're being ridiculous, she scoffed. Brianna's a catch, you should be happy she even looks at you. My jaw dropped. Happy she looks at me, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Oh, come on, Liam, she said, her voice dripping with condescension. You know you're not exactly exciting. Brianna needs a little sparkle in her life. A little lipstick, I saw red. Sparkle, are you kidding me? So I'm supposed to just buy her whatever she wants to keep her entertained. Is that what a relationship is, Maya? A constant stream of expensive gifts? Well, it's better than being alone, isn't it? She said, and then she actually giggled. Giggled. That's when my mom chimed in. She'd been listening on speakerphone the whole time, apparently. Liam, honey, just apologize. Buy her some flowers. Women need to be cherished. Cherished with $200 lipstick. I wanted to scream. Mom, she called me cheap. In public, she said other guys would buy it for her. Oh, she didn't mean it like that, my mom said dismissively. She's just a little high maintenance. You need to learn how to handle her. Handle her, like she's some kind of exotic pet. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold the phone. I felt this tightness in my chest like I couldn't breathe. That's when it hit me. This wasn't normal. This wasn't just a family squabble. This was toxic. They were all ganging up on me, telling me I was wrong for having boundaries, wrong for wanting to be financially responsible, wrong for not wanting to be used. I hung up. Just click, I needed air. I went outside and just sat on the porch steps, trying to calm down. I felt so alone, so betrayed, by my own family, and for what? A stupid lipstick. This morning, things went from bad to worse. Nuclear. I'm starting to think I've stumbled into some twisted reality show where I'm the designated punching bag, so apparently Brianna didn't just tell her friends about the lipstick incident. She went full Karen on social media. I'm talking paragraphs, essays. About how controlling and emotionally unavailable I am, how I humiliated her in the mall, how I refused to buy her a simple gift. Simple, and the comments, OMG, people I barely know, people I went to high school with are all piling on. You go girl, dump his cheap ass. He sounds awful. You deserve so much better, queen. It's like a public stoning and I'm tied to the stake. But the worst part, my family. They're liking her posts, commenting with little heart emojis. My Aunt Carol, who I haven't spoken to in 5 years, messaged me saying, "Liam, you should be ashamed of yourself, treat women better." ASSHMED, for what? Not bankrupting myself over a lipstick. Then my mom called. "Liam, honey," she said, her voice all sweet and sickly, "you're making a fool of yourself, just apologize to Brianna. This is getting out of hand." I lost it. Apologize? Are you kidding me? She's the one who blasted our private business all over the internet. She's the one who called me cheap in front of 100 strangers. And you're telling me to apologize? Liam, she sighed, you need to be the bigger person. Think about what this is doing to the family. The family? What about what it's doing to me? The family? You're worried about the family. They're all taking her side. No one even bothered to ask him why side of the story. Well, maybe if you hadn't been so difficult, she started, but I cut her off. Difficult, I'm difficult because I didn't want to spend $200 on a lipstick. She just sighed again. Liam, just fix this, please, for your mother. And that's when I knew. This wasn't about the lipstick. It wasn't even about Brianna. It was about control. About them all ganging up on me, forcing me to conform to be the good son, the responsible one. Even if it meant sacrificing my own sanity and financial stability. Well, I'm done. I'm not apologizing. I'm not fixing anything. I'm going to take control of my own life, even if it means going no contact with the whole damn lot of them. I'm starting to think that might actually be a blessing in disguise. I need to talk to Chloe again. This isn't just about a lipstick anymore. This is about my life. So I finally broke down and told Chloe everything. It all came tumbling out: the lipstick, Brianna's insane reaction, my family's betrayal, the social media circus. I felt like a complete idiot, like I was overreacting, like maybe I was the problem. Chloe, I said, my voice shaking, am I crazy? Am I being too sensitive? Everyone's telling me I'm overreacting. She just looked at me, this calm, steady gaze, and said, Liam, take a deep breath, tell me everything from the beginning. So I did. I laid it all out, every detail, every snide comment, every heart emoji. By the time I was finished, I felt drained, like I'd run a marathon. And then, Chloe said something that completely changed my perspective. Liam, she said, her voice firm but gentle, this isn't about a lipstick. This is about financial abuse. Financial abuse. Those words hit me like a ton of bricks. I'd never even considered it. Abuse, I stammered. But it's just a lipstick. It's not just a lipstick, Chloe explained. It's about Brianna using manipulation and guilt to try and control your finances. It's about her disrespecting your boundaries and making you feel inadequate for not meeting her demands. And your family enabling her behavior. That's a whole other layer of toxic. My mind was racing. Suddenly, so many things clicked into place. Brianna's constant hints about expensive gifts, her complaints about my practical car, her dismissive attitude towards my savings goals. It wasn't just about material possessions. It was about power. About making me feel like I wasn't good enough unless I could provide her with a certain lifestyle. And the sunk cost fallacy, Chloe continued, makes you think you need to stay because you've invested so much time, but a relationship should be healthy, not a financial drain. I'd never thought of it that way. I'd been so focused on trying to make everyone happy, on being the good guy, that I'd completely lost sight of my own needs, my own self-worth. Liam, Chloe said, looking me straight in the eye, you deserve to be with someone who respects you, not just for what you can buy them, but for who you are. And in that moment, something shifted inside me. A wave of clarity washed over me, followed by a surge of anger. Not at Chloe, not even at Brianna or my family, but at myself, for letting them treat me this way, for letting myself be manipulated and controlled. You're right, I said, my voice stronger now. I deserve better. Talking to Chloe was like finally seeing the light at the end of a very long, very dark tunnel. It was the turning point. The moment I realized I wasn't crazy, I wasn't overreacting. I was being abused. And I wasn't going to let it happen anymore. We were at the mall food court, grabbing a quick bite after the whole lipstick debacle. I was still reeling, trying to process everything Chloe had said. Brianna was on her phone, probably updating her Instagram followers on my latest transgression, not buying her a $200 tube of glorified wax. I was picking at my barely touched slice of pizza when she looked up, a smug smirk plastered across her face. You know, she said, twirling a strand of hair around her finger, maybe I should just find someone who can actually take care of me. That's it. That was the final straw. Everything inside me went cold. The noise of the food court faded away. All I could hear was the blood pounding in my ears. It was like a switch flipped in my brain. The Liam who apologized, the Liam who tried to make everyone happy, the Liam who let people walk all over him, he was gone. In his place was someone I barely recognized, someone angry, someone determined, someone who was finally ready to stand up for himself. You know what, Brianna, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. Maybe you should. Her eyes widened. The smirk vanished. What? She stammered. We're done, I said, meeting her gaze head on. I'm done. I'm done being your ATM. I'm done being your emotional punching bag. I'm done being treated like I'm worthless unless I can buy you whatever you want. My heart was pounding, but I didn't break eye contact. I felt this strange sense of calm wash over me, a sense of freedom. Like I'd finally broken free from some invisible chain that had been binding me for far too long. You're dumping me, she sputtered, her voice laced with disbelief. Over lipstick. It's not about the lipstick, Brianna, I said, my voice rising now. It's about respect, and you clearly don't have any for me. I stood up, grabbed my jacket and walked away, didn't look back, didn't hesitate, just left. I knew there would be fallout. I knew she'd probably try to make my life hell, but in that moment I didn't care. I felt lighter than I had in months. Like a massive weight had been lifted from my shoulders, I was free. And it felt damn good. Now, I need to figure out how to handle the inevitable social media SHTSDORM and my family's reaction. But for the first time in a long time, I feel like I can actually handle it. Because I'm finally on my own side. Okay, Reddit, buckle up, because this is where things get strategic. I knew the breakup was just the first battle. Brianna and my family weren't going to go down without a fight, and I needed to be ready. First, I went full-on digital detective. I scrolled through months of texts, looking for anything that hinted at Brianna's entitlement or manipulative behavior. Screenshots, SAVED. I even found some old Venmo requests for ridiculously expensive dinners and spa days. Jackpot. Then I started documenting everything. Every interaction, every phone call, every social media post. I knew I needed a record just in case things escalated. Paranoid? Maybe. Prepared? Absolutely. Next, I called in the cavalry. Chloe, my therapist friend, was my rock. She helped me see through the gaslighting and reminded me that I wasn't crazy. She also gave me some amazing advice on setting boundaries and dealing with manipulative people. Worth, her, weight, in gold. And then the legal angle. This is where it gets really satisfying. See, Brianna had this habit of borrowing money from me and conveniently forgetting to pay it back. Small amounts here and there, but it added up. Over $1,000, actually. So I contacted a lawyer, a real one. Not some TV lawyer, but a friend of Chloe's who specializes in, get this, financial exploitation. The lawyer drafted a demand letter outlining all the outstanding debts, with dates, amounts, and even screenshots of Brianna's "I'll pay you back later" texts. The letter mentioned potential legal action if she didn't pay up. Boom. Mentally, I prepared myself for the worst. I knew Brianna would probably try to smear my name, and my family would likely side with her. I accepted that I might lose some friends, some family, even my reputation. But I also knew that my self-respect and financial well-being were worth fighting for. I was done being the family doormat. I visualized the confrontation, practiced what I would say. I even wrote down a script just to have my key points ready. Overkill? Maybe, but I wasn't leaving anything to chance. I felt a mix of terror and exhilaration, like I was about to jump out of a plane without a parachute. But I also knew, deep down, that I was doing the right thing. I was finally taking control of my life. And that, my friends, is a powerful feeling. The food court buzzed with the usual Saturday chaos: screaming kids, clattering trays, the greasy aroma of 1,000 different fast food concoctions. Brianna, oblivious to the impending explosion, was scrolling through Instagram, probably curating the perfect "poor me" post about the lipstick incident. I took a deep breath, steeling myself. This was it. Brianna, I said, my voice surprisingly steady despite the tremor in my hands, we need to talk. She glanced up, a bored expression on her perfectly made-up face. About what? About how you embarrassed me in front of everyone. No, I said, meeting her gaze head-on. About how you expect me to bankroll your lifestyle. About how you manipulate me with guilt and shame when I don't give you what you want. About how you have zero respect for my financial boundaries. Her perfectly sculpted eyebrows shot up in surprise. What are you talking about? She sputtered, the practiced innocence in her voice failing to mask the flicker of panic in her eyes. I'm talking about the lipstick, Brianna, I said, my voice rising slightly. And the shoes, and the dinners, and the spa days. I'm talking about all the times you've hinted or outright demanded that I spend money I don't have on things you don't need. She opened her mouth to protest, but I cut her off. Just don't. I have screenshots, I have Venmo requests, I have a lawyer, and I'm done. The color drained from her face. The carefully constructed facade of cool indifference crumbled. You're dumping me, she stammered, her voice barely a whisper. Over lipstick? It's not about the lipstick, I said, my voice now ringing with a newfound strength. It's about respect. And you clearly don't have any for me. You value me for what I can buy you, not for who I am, and I deserve better than that. I pulled out a folded piece of paper from my pocket and slid it across the table. That's a demand letter for the money you owe me, I said, my voice cold and hard. Over $1,000, pay up. Her eyes widened in disbelief as she stared at the letter. The smugness, the entitlement, the carefully crafted mask of indifference, it all vanished, replaced by a look of pure, unadulterated panic. The power dynamic had shifted, I could feel it. I stood up, grabbed my jacket, and walked away. No dramatic pronouncements, no lingering glances, just left. The food court noise faded back in, but this time it didn't bother me. I felt a wave of relief wash over me, so intense it was almost physical. I was free. And it felt damn good. Later, the predictable social media storm hit. Brianna went full on smear campaign mode, painting me as a controlling, emotionally abusive monster. My family, predictably, rallied to her defense. But this time, I was ready. I posted a simple, factual account of the situation, including screenshots of Brianna's texts and Venmo requests. I didn't engage in the drama. I didn't respond to the accusations. I just let the evidence speak for itself. And slowly the tide began to turn. People started questioning Brianna's narrative, some even apologized for jumping to conclusions. And the best part, Brianna paid. Every single penny. The lawyer's letter had worked. She knew I wasn't bluffing. I lost some friends, I distanced myself from some family members. But you know what? I gained something far more valuable, my self-respect, and my financial stability. I'm still saving for that condo. And this time I'm doing it for me. It's been a few months since the great lipstick debacle of 2023, and wow, what a roller coaster. The immediate aftermath was messy. Brianna's social media smear campaign was in full swing. She twisted the narrative, making me out to be the bad guy. I was controlling, obsessed with money, and apparently had a secret gambling addiction, WTF. The comments section was a dumpster fire. People I barely knew were calling me all sorts of names. It was brutal. My family mostly sided with her. My mom called, crying, begging me to just apologize and make it go away. My sister Maya sent a text saying I was overreacting and needed to learn how to treat a woman. A woman who tried to financially exploit me. It was surreal. I felt like I was in the twilight zone. But then, something amazing happened. People started seeing through Brianna's BS. My friends, the real ones, knew me better. They reached out, offering support. Some even shared their own stories of manipulative exes and entitled family members. I wasn't alone, and that made all the difference. The lawyer's letter was a game changer. Brianna paid up, quickly. She knew I wasn't playing games. The social media storm eventually died down. People moved on to the next drama. And I started to heal. I'm still seeing a therapist, working through my savior complex and my tendency to put other people's needs before my own. It's a process, but I'm making progress. I'm setting boundaries. I'm saying no without feeling guilty. I'm putting myself first. I cut ties with the friends who sided with Brianna. It hurt, but it was necessary. I realized that true friends support you, even when it's uncomfortable. They don't blindly follow the crowd. And my family, that's still complicated. I'm low contact with most of them. It's sad, but I need to protect my mental health. Maybe someday things will change, but for now, this is what's best for me. The biggest win, I'm saving aggressively for that condo. It's happening. It's really happening. And this time, it's for me, no one else, just me, and that feels incredible. So Reddit, what do you think? Have you ever dealt with financial manipulation in a relationship? How did you handle it? Any advice for navigating toxic family dynamics? Let me know. I could use the wisdom of the crowd.